So students, let's start revising our chapter tissues. Now multicellular organisms are made up of millions of cells. Cells show division of labor and each cell performs a particular function efficiently. Such cells are grouped together and is called tissue. So, a group of cells that are similar in structure and origin and perform similar function are known as tissues, and the study of tissues is known as histology. Now, what is the utility of tissues in multicellular organisms? So, multicellular organisms have millions of cells. Each group of cells is called tissue and it performs a special function efficiently. For example, muscle cells, they contract and relax to bring movement. Nerve cells carry on message and blood etc. all are tissues. In plants, vascular tissues such as xylem and phloem is there, which conducts water and food from one part of the plant to other. So multicellular organisms show division of labor. So here you can see some of the difference between plant tissue and animal tissue. Okay, I'm keeping this slide for 30 seconds. So first off, we are going to start with the plant tissues. So this is an overall chart describing the plant tissues which are divided into two, meristematic and permanent. Meristematic tissue are also known as dividing tissue and permanent tissue. Now permanent tissue are further divided into simple and complex, and simple again further divided into three, that is parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma, whereas complex permanent tissue also further divided into two, which is xylem and phloem. So first we will start with the meristematic tissue. So meristematic tissue, they have the power to divide to form new cells. They increase the length and girth of plants and are found in growing areas of plants. New cells that are produced by the meristem are similar to the meristem, but as they grow, their characteristics change and they differentiate. That process is known as cell differentiation. So the characteristics of the cells of these tissue are: cells are active, that is living, have dense cytoplasm, thin cellulose walls, prominent nuclei, and lack vacuole, as vacuoles provide rigidity to cells and prevent quick cell division. Cell needs a dense cytoplasm and soft cell wall for cell division. So there are three types of meristematic tissues: apical, intercalary, and lateral. The apical meristem is located in the growing tips of shoots and root. The main function involves is increasing the length of the plant, that is of primary growth. The intercalary meristem is located at the base of leaves or internode. The main function it performs is increasing in length of organ like leaves and internodes. Lateral meristem, it is found on the sides of stem and roots. They are of two types, cork and vascular cambium, and the function it plays is increasing the diameter and girth, that is of secondary growth. In this diagram, which is located in the right corner of your screen, okay, you can see the location of all three types of meristematic tissue: apical, intercalary and lateral. Okay, next is the permanent tissues. So the tissues that comes from the meristematic tissue and are matured are permanent tissues. They are made up of dead cells that have lost the power to divide. They have a definite shape, size, and function and may be dead or living. The process by which cells arise from the meristematic tissue and take up a permanent shape, size, and function is called differentiation. So, permanent tissue are of two types: simple permanent tissue and complex permanent tissue. The simple permanent tissue are again divided into three types: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma, which we are going to study next. So these are the three types of simple permanent tissue: parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. This is a very good chart which is used to differentiate between parenchyma, collenchyma, and sclerenchyma. So in this chart, you can see first they are differentiated on the basis of their character, then function and location. So first we are going to study the characteristics of these three tissues. First, parenchyma. It is a basic, most simple packaging tissue that fills the spaces between other tissues and is found most abundant in plants. Whereas collenchyma, the cells are living, elongated, and irregularly thick at the corners, which are made up of cellulose or pectin. Then there is sclerenchyma. The cells of these tissues are long, narrow, thick walled due to deposition of lignin, which is a chemical substance which acts as cement and hardens them. Such cell walls are called lignified cell walls and have pits. Then again to parenchyma, it has unspecialized, undifferentiated cells with thin cell walls made up of cellulose. They have large intercellular spaces as the cells are loosely packed. Whereas the collenchyma, they have very less or no intercellular spaces. Whereas in sclerenchyma, no intercellular spaces due to the lignin deposition. Then again in parenchyma, cells have nucleus, dense cytoplasm and large vacuole, whereas in collenchyma, cells have a nucleus, dense cytoplasm and large vacuole, and in sclerenchyma, cells do not have a nucleus and cytoplasm. Now we'll move on to the functions of parenchyma, collenchyma and sclerenchyma cells. So firstly, parenchyma provides support to plants, and parenchyma of stem and root stores nutrients and water and is called storage parenchyma. When it contains chloroplast having chlorophyll and performs photosynthesis, it is known as chlorenchyma. In aquatic animals, parenchyma has large air spaces to provide buoyancy to plants to help them float and exchange gases, which is known as arenchyma tissue. Then collenchyma, which provides flexibility and mechanical support to the aerial parts of the plants, that is stems and leaves, and allows them to bend. Then we move on to sclerenchyma, which gives rigidity and strength to the plant and makes it hard and tough to bear stress and strain. And in the last location part, let us see, parenchyma are found in non-woody or soft parts of roots, stem, leaves, flowers, fruits, etc. Whereas collenchyma are found in leaf stalks, below epidermis of leaves and stems, and sclerenchyma are found in stem around vascular bundles in the veins of leaves, ropes, mats made up of jute, linen, and husk of coconut and seed coat. They are all made up of sclerenchyma. So now I hope all these three tissues are clear to you all. Now we will move forward with the epidermis. So epidermis, it is a layer of cells covering surface of the entire plant. It is a very thin and transparent layer. Epidermal tissues have tiny hairs projecting from the surface of epidermis. Trichomes are abundant in some plant leaves. Root hairs are elongations of epidermal cells in the root. Epidermal tissues in leaves are covered with a waxy cuticle layer. Some epidermal cells secrete poisonous or bad tasting substances. What are the function of epidermis? So it acts like a barrier to microorganisms and pathogens and to the whole external environment of the plant. It allows light to pass through for photosynthesis in the tissues below. Leaf trichomes trap water to prevent water loss. Root hairs increases the surface area for absorption of water from the soil. The waxy cuticle prevents water loss from leaves. The bitter taste of substance prevent gazing by animals. Now we'll move on to stomata and cork. So stomata, the epidermis of leaves has spore stomata surrounded by two kidney-shaped guard cells. The function of stomata are exchange of gases and transpiration. Okay, and then cork, it is a protective layer in nature, prevents a lot water loss from plant and injury. As it does not catch fire easily and is light, it is used as an insulator and in sports goods. Now next, moving on to the complex permanent tissues, made up of more than one type of cells that have a common origin and work together to do a common function. So there are two types of complex permanent tissue, xylem and phloem. The components of xylems are as respectively tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem sclerenchyma, whereas the components of phloem are sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. And both the conducting tissues, that is xylem and phloem, are known as vascular tissues, and together they form the vascular bundles. So let us study them in detail. So xylem, the cells have thick walls. Elements are tracheids, vessels, xylem parenchyma and xylem sclerenchyma. Vessels are most important element and are shorter and wider than tracheids. Vessels and tracheids have tube-like structures that helps in transporting water and minerals vertically efficiently. Xylem parenchyma stores food and helps in lateral conduction of water. In addition to transporting water and mineral salts from the roots to leaves, xylem also provides support to plants and trees because of its tough lignified vessels. Phloem, sieve tubes are tube-like structures, elements which are present in the phloem are sieve tubes, companion cells, phloem parenchyma and phloem fibers. The end walls are called sieve plates and are perforated due to the presence of pores. Phloem transports the prepared food from leaves to storage organ and from storage organs to growing regions. Hence, materials can move in both the directions in it. So here are certain difference between points between xylem and phloem. So xylem conducts water and minerals. Phloem conducts only food. Then in xylem, the conduction takes place in one direction only, whereas in phloem it occurs in two directional, upward and downward. In xylem, conducting channels are tracheids and vessels. In phloem, conducting channels are sieve tubes. In xylem, only xylem parenchyma is living, all the other elements are dead, whereas in phloem, all the elements are living, only phloem fibers are dead. In xylem, the xylem conducts and gives mechanical strength also due to the presence of lignified vessels, whereas the phloem conducts no mechanical strength. So now we have completed the revision of plant tissues. In the next video, we are going to do the revision of animal tissues. Thank you everyone.